Welcome to the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing for Wednesday, May 21st. Currently, we do have a few wildfires across the Great Basin, but have remained small. The most recent was over here in western Nevada. We also still have a little bit of prescribed burning occurring in parts of the northern half of the Great Basin. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've had precipitation move across the area as areas of low pressure continue to track across the Great Basin, especially the northern half of the region. We have seen precipitation mostly focused this last week over the northern half, with some drier spots being parts of western and southern Nevada and parts of the Arizona Strip. But in the last 2 weeks, we did have some above normal precipitation in the far south and also scattered around central and northern areas of the Great Basin, with again the drier spot being parts of central and western Nevada, and even up into parts of central Idaho and northeast Utah. Over the last 72 hours, we've had new snowfall in the higher elevations of Idaho, both in central and eastern Idaho, and especially western Wyoming, where we've seen over 6 to 8 inches in some areas. Also, some lighter accumulations in parts of the central Utah mountains and even back into parts of eastern and northern Nevada. The lightning over the last 24 hours, we have had some isolated lightning over eastern Idaho into western Wyoming. Currently, our snowpack continues to be on the downward trend and fairly rapidly in some areas, especially with this warmer and drier weather we've had move in across the region. We are now sitting generally below normal in most areas, with the exception of a few pockets in parts of Nevada, otherwise well below normal in the south, and even well below normal now in the Sierra due to the recent warmer trend. However, our current ERC point map, all ERCs across the Great Basin are below the 50th percentile. However, we will see those ERCs trending upward over the next several days with the warm and dry conditions. There has been some drying in this last week, again with that warmer and drier weather, so we have seen on our evaporative demand drought index that drying, especially over the southern half of Nevada into Utah, to a lesser extent up into Idaho and northern Nevada. Quick look at our satellite image from this morning. You can see a weak ridge of high pressure just off the west coast with generally westerly flow across the region, and there are some clouds this morning over parts of northern Utah up into Idaho and Wyoming, otherwise sunny skies. So looking at the weather pattern for today, you can see generally westerly flow. The next trough is off the Pacific Northwest coast, and that will move across the area tomorrow. Otherwise, continued warm and dry conditions. Ventilation index is good in most areas of southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin and lower over parts of western Utah and Nevada and up into southwest Idaho. Transport winds today with that westerly flow will generally be light to moderate. We will see some gusty winds over in western Wyoming and the northern portion of the Utah mountains up into the Uintas, but most of those gusts will be in the 20s. Otherwise, high mixing heights. Temperatures today will remain near normal in parts of Idaho, northern Utah, and a little bit below normal in western Wyoming, and above normal over southern and western areas. We will see temperatures fluctuate over the next 7 days to near normal at times as the troughs move through, and then 5 to 10 degrees above normal as the troughs pass by. Relative humidity will remain low across much of Nevada into southern and eastern Utah, and above 20% elsewhere. As we move into Thursday and that trough moves into the Pacific Northwest, we will see winds pick up a little bit and temperatures cool somewhat in the north. That will also improve dispersion across the region. You can see across the northern half of the region is where those westerly winds will start picking up. We'll see some gusts in the 30s to around 40 miles per hour in some areas, especially across the Sierra Front into parts of northern Nevada and central Idaho. And then mixing heights continue to increase. Temperatures on Thursday will cool over western areas from what we'll see today as that trough moves in. However, we'll see a little bit of warming up in Idaho and over eastern areas of the Great Basin. Relative humidity remains low and even decreases a little bit more tomorrow across Nevada and Utah with single digits in the south, but still remains above 20% up north. On Friday, we will see that first trough move off to the north, but another trough still moving into northern California. So again, still keeping that weak troughy presence across the Great Basin. Still good dispersion, although winds won't be quite as gusty in the north. Those gusty winds do shift to southern areas, so we'll see those gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour over southern Utah into the Arizona Strip and southern Nevada. Otherwise, high mixing heights. Temperatures will be cooler on Friday, again with that next trough moving in. Still see temperatures kind of near normal, but not those above normal temperatures we'll see today across the north and western areas. Still remain hot over southern areas and just above normal in northern Utah. Relative humidity, same general pattern with single digits to teens across much of Nevada and Utah and above 20% up north. 3-day precipitation as these troughs move through, any precipitation will be fairly light, but we could see some showers and occasional thunderstorms over parts of the northern half of the region, as you can see depicted here, with drier conditions continuing down south. As we move into the weekend, yet another trough continues to track across the area from Friday. So again, that will keep temperatures a little bit more moderated, but we will see some gradual warming and drying. And then as we move into Sunday, we see ridging move in, but still another trough off the west coast that will approach the area early next week. So we could see another uptick of winds as that trough moves in, along with some cooler temperatures and some precipitation potentially as well. So the precipitation, this is taking us through the weekend. So not much through the weekend, just as those troughs move through, some light showers or thunderstorms up in Wyoming, eastern Idaho, and northern Utah. And then as we go into early next week, we might see some thunderstorms in the Sierra and also up into central Idaho. However, the 7-day total precip, any storms we see moving through will be fairly light, but it will bring some increases in humidity and some cooler temperatures and some very light shower activity. The 8 to 14-day outlook taking us from May 28th through June 3rd shows warmer and drier conditions. However, models still continue to show troughs moving through, so we're probably not done yet heading into early June, but we'll continue to watch that. That concludes the webcast for today. Check back on Friday for the latest updates. And as a reminder, we are still issuing this product Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.